Welcome to the Cast Off. This is the #1 recasting show on the internet where two contestants compete by recasting your favorite actors in movies you love. I'm your host, Craig Price. Tonight, we have two awesome gamers recasting a video game movie. Of course, why not? And we have from Cutscenes and Cupcakes, the podcast. Please welcome Stephanie Listman and Marlee Black. How are you guys doing?
Hello. So good. So
Doing
glad
great.
to be here.
So, Stephanie, you've been on the show before. How was your experience when you did the Suicide Squad with Jake Dietz?
It was fantastic, and I won. So I have the bragging rights over him.
Oh, well, that's not really difficult with Jake. Jake's a sweetheart of a guy, but he's kind of a pushover. He's a real nice guy. He's going to be on the
teddy
show.
bear, that's for sure.
He is. He's going to be on our podcast soon. We're doing Pixar movies for the entire month of June, so he was on doing Up with Tracy Mangum, another sweetheart of a guy. Marlee, how are you?
Doing great.
Have you
Happy to be here.
Have you
Happy to compete against Steph.
have you studied up and figured out what's going to happen tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see who the talker is on that podcast. Stephanie, I can tell that you are pretty much in charge. What are you guys playing right now?
Yeah, remember that, Marlee.
Okay.
Well, Marlee seems like she's been kind of shy. Maybe it's because she's on video. I don't know. So what kind of games are you guys playing right now?
Right now, I've been playing Celeste, which is an indie side-scrolling game. It is super lovely, super wonderful, and the music is fantastic. I need to hop on like Mass Effect or Horizon Forbidden West, which I know Marlee has been playing a lot of. But
I finished it, but yes.
Yeah, I have two kids, and
So good.
my gaming time is just so limited.
Oh, and Marlee, what are you playing recently?
I have been playing. I still don't know the right way to say this, but I think it's Kena Bridge of Spirits. It actually won Best Indie Game of the Year for 2021. And I've been playing it on my new PlayStation 5, and it is gorgeous. It's a very like kind of whimsical game, and I don't remember who it was, but someone described it as like it's like a Pixar video game. Was that you, Steph, that described it that way? Yeah.
It's like violent
So it's
Pixar.
like
Well, I also
violent Pixar.
yeah, I also have my new PlayStation 5 that it has taken me almost a year and a half to get. I finally got it without having to pay exorbitant scalper fees.
Yep.
There's some evil people out there trying to take advantage of folks, but this is the first time I've ever had a PlayStation, so I've actually had to go back into the catalogs that I've been playing. All the Uncharted games from day one. All the I played Spider-Man. I'm getting Miles Morales soon. Yes. I've got The Last of Us ready to go. I'm just finishing up Gods of War. So
great. All of these, so great.
So, being a PS5, a PlayStation person, is there anyone that you might recommend for me that I may not be aware of? Because, like I said, I've been an Xbox guy since day one, and it was a very difficult change for me when I started the controller because the X is in a different spot. So when it would
Oh yeah.
so when it would say X on the screen, I'd hit the wrong button.
It's different on the Xbox, PlayStation, and the Switch, which is just like, why do they do this?
To be
It's
there
so confusing
unique.
switching around.
Yeah.
Last of Us 2 is so many, yes.
It's
so
got the
good.
feels. It's got the feels, I can tell.
Yes. Last of Us
It's
1 and Last
amazing.
of Us 2 are like pretty close to perfect games.
That's my next game
Oh,
after I
it's true.
finish up Gods of War. I'm just going around now, finishing up. I finished the main story. Now I'm just going around collecting all the stuff and doing all the. I'm a completionist. I try to
A
be.
completionist over here.
Yeah.
You should also check out, I think this is a PlayStation exclusive, but you should check out Detroit Become
Yes.
Human.
I have that on my list
Oh,
because there's three.
good.
There's three games with that, if I remember correctly. There's like
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
The three
there's
main
three-
characters.
yeah. There's three games in the Detroit family, so to speak. So I have them on my watch list. Absolutely. Well, the most important game we're going to play is right now. So let's move on to the rules, and I'll just refresh Stephanie, but let Marlee know little things that are coming up. The rules are fairly simple, or at least we try to make the rules simple here. We're going to show you a picture of a character, and you're going to give me an actor to replace that iconic character. The best choice decided by 3 judges, so it's not me. It's me and 2 other people. So oftentimes I get overruled by the other 2 because I'll see somebody and go, "Oh, that's great," and then I'll ask the other two judges, and then they're stupid and they say the other one, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're wrong," but I guess I got to go with that. So the best choice gets a point. I'm also playing along, and if you happen to get the same person that I picked, that's a point as well. So if you start to get behind and you need to get extra points, what you want to do is sync up with my mind, which I don't recommend, but you're going to sync up with my mind, and if you can figure out what I think is a good person for that and get it, you get a point, and often my selection is the best choice. I mean, why wouldn't it be? And people get real nervous when they do this game, and I don't understand it, but I guess it's because I recast between the podcast and the cast-off. I am recasting 3 or 4 times a week, and so it's old habit for me. And my thing is to try not to get repetitive, so I try to spice it up a little bit. But if you do listen to the show, you know I have some favorites, so that's a good way of sneaking in there and trying to get an extra point. Person with the most points wins, because that's how we are here in America. And if there is a tie, there'll be a double feature to win, and I'll explain that when and if it's necessary. Well, as always, this show is brought to you by Matinee Heroes, and this July we celebrate the comedic genius Steve Martin all month long, and we kick it off with one of his best, The Jerk. Oh, I love this movie. It's so memorable. It's got so many lines, both visually and quotable quotes. It's great. So you can head over to matineeheroes.com/subscribe to subscribe to the podcast. And when you do, you can also hear tonight's post show exclusively on the audio version of the cast-off every Thursday in the Matinee Heroes feed. While you're at the site, if you do enjoy the cast-off, you can subscribe to the video feed at matineeheroes.com/castoff. So, let's warm up our thumbs and ready the Mountain Dew and get ready for a real game on video, the cast-off featuring Tomb Raider. So, Marlee, we flipped the coin. You are going first, and we have, obviously, we have the rebooted Tomb Raider starring Alicia Vikander, who is also a rebooted Tomb Raider, because I was talking to one of the judges. They don't like the fact that she has gone from 2 guns to a bow and arrow, but that's the game, and I thought the new games are very good. So I don't know what your opinion of the new Lara Croft games, the Tomb Raider games, but I like them. And I've
played 2 of 3 of them. They're good.
So Marlee, we have I think, at least Oscar nominated. I don't know if she's actually won. I can't remember, but she's Oscar nominated, Alicia Vikander. She's fantastic. Who do you have possibly replacing her to be the new Lara Croft?
I picked Felicity Jones.
Well, there you go. She goes right to it.
Yes.
She's like, I'm not even going to explain. I'm not even going to tempt you. Felicity Jones, why?
Well, first of all, looks. She definitely, she fits the build, the coloring, the hair color, like everything. And also, I read a fun fact about her. When she was getting ready for her role in Rogue One, she actually, like, for some of the combat scenes, she studied Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah,
and
that's pretty cool.
and learned some different moves from her. And like Lara Croft can fight. She does know how to fight. And so just immediately I was like, yep, Felicity Jones.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed about the Uncharted games now that I'm playing them, and the Lara Croft games that came out, is that all the characters in these games are like part monkey, because they climb a lot. They're always climbing, and my arms would get tired. But yes,
they're parkour masters, that's for sure.
Felicity Jones was great in Rogue One. She was also Felicia Hardy in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Inferno with Tom Hanks, The Theory of Everything, where she played Hawkins' wife. She's kind of like the work spouse of Eddie Redmayne, because they also work together in The Aeronauts. So Felicity Jones, a great pick to start off the game. So Stephanie, Felicity Jones could be hard to beat.
Yeah, I just kind of a lesser known, but like fantastic. I feel like she has the sass. She has the personality behind her. She hasn't, as far as I've seen, hasn't shown too much like combat, but I think she could pull it off. I chose Sex Education's Emma McKay.
Absolutely. I didn't know who she was when you popped her up, because I have not seen Sex Education, which I need to do since they just named one of the characters the new Doctor for Doctor Who.
Yes. It might make me watch Doctor Who.
I'm
going to say that.
Yeah. So she's an up-and-coming actress, because this is her entire roster that she's got on Wiki. She's in Sex Education. She was in Death of the Nile and a movie called Eiffel. That's it. So she's up and coming, but a lot of people mistake her for. I think she's going to be in the new Barbie movie with Margot Robbie, but a lot of people think she looks like Margot Robbie, and she kind of does in this picture right here.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I can see that.
yeah, so we've got Felicity Jones, Emma McKay, the judges conferred, and Felicity Jones. So Marlee gets the first point. All right. Well, I went with Emily Blunt because I think she can do no wrong, and I think she's got that action. I think she can fit the bill. She's got the English accent. We know that she can do all the action. If you've seen Edge of Tomorrow or Live, Die, Repeat or whatever the hell they call it now, they've renamed it a couple times. She's amazing in that. She does a great job of showing that she can kick butt and take names. I'm hoping, there's a rumor that her husband, John Krasinski, is going to be directing the Fantastic Four after having a surprise cameo. So I'm hoping, because he's directing, she will join him and become the Invisible Woman. But that is still some speculation. Well, now we'll move on to the great Dominic West playing Laura's archaeologist father, Lord Richard Croft. He's a lord. So we'll start with Stephanie. Do you have anybody regal or royal to play the archaeologist Richard Croft?
So I kind of went a little bit of a different direction. I went with like adventure-y, like kind of hot dad.
Yes, you did.
And I chose Josh Duhamel.
It's Duhamel. I thought it was Duhamel too, but I looked it up and it's Duhamel.
Duhamel. Okay, well, he's daddy. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, look at him. Look at that guy. Look at those piercing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the temples and the gray. But you know, he's still young.
He could be a teenager's dad, I feel.
Oh sure, of course he could. He could easily be. Don't forget, anybody over the age of 36 could easily be, especially in Utah, easily be a parent of an 18-year-old. Because, not that they have them young out of wedlock, they get married real young in Utah. And so, you know.
It's a thing here.
It's true.
A quick story, my wife and I went to go see my Big Fat Greek Wedding in Utah when it first came out. And we weren't married at the time, and we were sitting watching the movie, and the first 3 minutes it explains that the lead actress, Nia Vidal, is single at 35, and the entire audience, which was full of women except me, went, oh, like being 35 and single was a problem. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he is a tough guy, a hunky tough guy in the Transformer movies. He was Tad Hamilton and Win a Date with Tad Hamilton, so he's been around for a little bit. Loves Simon. He was in the television show Las Vegas and was in the movie Chips for a little bit. So we got hunky dad Josh. Marlee, who are you going to go up against the hunky dad? Do you have a hunky dad to go with that?
Of course I picked a hunky dad. So the actor I picked, first of all, he can do the accent. And also I was trying to imagine, like, especially in the movie when you get like on the island and he has like a lot of facial hair, you know, it's very unkempt. And so I was trying to think of like what male actor is kind of youngish and also looks good with like facial hair. So I picked Gerard Butler.
There you go. Gerard Butler, who I call the cost-effective leading man.
Did you just call him Buttman?
No, I called him Butter, but that's a different story. Gerard Butler, he's the cost-effective leading man. He's not in the high-quality blockbusters, but he's in those mid-grade, you know, Olympus Has Fallen. He was in Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, so I'm not sure you knew that.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's okay.
It's been way too long since I've seen the old Tomb Raider movies.
Well, he wasn't Richard Croft in that, so that's okay to recast. As long as you don't recast the same character. Like, I know, I won't name names, but somebody named Stephanie wanted to have Angelina Jolie as Laura Croft, and my judges were like, really? I'm like, I don't think, even they were like, I told them, like, no, that's not
I
gonna
wasn't
happen.
serious.
I know.
Sure.
But he had those painted abs in 300, in Reign of Fire, and then he's made good money, I guess, doing a poor job of defending the Capitol, but he was in Olympus Has Fallen, and then he screwed up and had London blow up in the next one. So,
oh, no.
Yeah. So we have Josh Duhamel, Gerard Butler, and the judges decided to go with the Scotsman, Gerard Butler. So, Marlee, you have gone up 2-0, but it's still very early, and there's still lots of points on the board. I went with Viggo Mortensen because I thought he would be just a kick-ass guy in the jungle, but he's also a very sensitive guy. If you've seen him in his straight-laced, non-Lord of the Rings movies, he's a very sweet, nice, seems to be a nice guy. Seems to be like a great dad, too, in real life. So I thought, yeah,
Aw.
that'd be perfect.
I have his sword right here behind me.
Oh, hold on. Let me get let's show the audience your sword here. So
It's right here.
yeah. So that's the Erewhon sword?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's it called?
The Sword of Elendil.
Oh, say, there we go. I knew you would finally get some of the geek out of you. She was like, I'll be quiet for a little bit, but no. Well, the next we have the always awesome Walton Goggins playing Matthias Vogel, a rival archaeologist of Richard Croft. I didn't realize that archaeologists have rivals. I mean, I know Indiana Jones had Belloc, but I don't really consider them rivals, but they were just, one's a bad guy. And this one's so bad, he's a member of the shadowy organization known as Trinity. So, Marlee, who do you have playing the rival archaeologist? Because when I think of archaeologists, I think of nerds in dirt. And
Nerds in dirt.
I mean, I don't think of Harrison Ford. He's not an archaeologist type. That they all think they're Indiana Jones, but they all end up being more like regarding Henry.
Okay, well, I wanted to pick somebody that basically like an attractive male actor, but also somebody that could look like a villain. So not anybody with like too much of like a sweet innocent baby face. That was literally like kind of what I just went off on. And I came across Timothy Oliphant and decided to pick him.
Yes, Timothy Oliphant always looks good.
That's a great choice. I love him.
He's known for playing marshals because he was the marshal in Justified. He's the marshal in The Mandalorian and the Boba Fett movies. He's the sheriff in Deadwood. He was the marshal in Fargo season 4, where he plays good. And just to show you that he's got some range, he was in Scream 2. But yes, he's very good if you need someone to play law enforcement. So
he could be a villain. That's the thing. Is like I want to see him play a villain.
Oh, he could. I think he's played a couple. He played the Hitman. He was in Hitman. That's a video game. So he was in Hitman.
Yeah.
He shaved his head and put the little tattoo on the back of his neck. So, so Stephanie, who do you have to outdo Timothy Oliphant?
Okay, so this guy is known for playing kind of a dark, dirty role. And so I went with there's like a line that Matthias says where it's like, I should have killed you too, or like it got a little dark. So I thought of someone who plays dark and creepy and like just kind of evil pretty well. And I went with I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Ian Rowan.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah,
Ian Rowan, who is the worst. Yes, he is known for being the worst.
Yes.
From Game of Thrones. He was in The Dirt, which I don't know what that is, but he was in American Gods. That's great. He was in the ill-timed and unsuccessful Inhumans that for Marvel that was on TV, and he's on Misfits. So yes, he is definitely a horrible, horrible person. I'm sure he's a wonderful person in real life, but he can play scum very easily. So
yeah, you definitely want him dead.
Yes, oh, absolutely. So we have Timothy Oliphant, Ewan Rowan. How do you say his name? Ian
Rowan.
Rowan. I think it's the last name is what throws me. It's yeah. We'll say Ian Rowan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's Celtic, so just try to get a translator. And
next time.
Yeah, our judges decided Marlee is on a streak. She is 3-0 with Timothy Oliphant, and very quickly this could get out of hand.
Right.
So Stephanie, you've got to pick it up a little bit.
Catch up, Steph.
I know.
I went with
Or
Josh Brolin.
Don't catch up.
Josh Brolin, he's so cute.
Because I've been watching him in Outer Range, but I also think that when he's shaved like this, he can play a bad guy. Like you put him in where he's Cable from Deadpool 2 without all the mechanics and stuff, and just have that kind of attitude, and I think he'd be good. He'd kind of play the bad guy. All right.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that.
You have to have a dashing man somewhere in this adventure. Like in every movie, there's a beautiful. Nowadays, it's really great because they're beautiful attention. They can do all the action as well. Karen Allen is the prototype for me. You want a Karen Allen if you have an Indiana Jones. We have Lara Croft. She's going to need a companion. And we have Lou Ren, played by Daniel Wu, who is I guess he's the ship captain who helps Laura search for her father. And Daniel Wu is a great actor. He's in the Shadowlands, which was on AMC, which is a kind of a weird movie show, but he's really good in it. So Stephanie, who do you have playing the buddy?
So I was gonna go with Henry Goulding at first, but I thought he was just a little bit too pretty. He is too pretty. So I went kind of a different direction. I went with Stephen Ewan.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
I feel like he's proven himself on Walking Dead. Like he can do the action, he can do the survival thing. So he just kind of fit that role.
And he
really
is
well.
He's no slouch in the acting department. If you've seen Minari, where he was the first Asian American actor to be nominated for Best Actor, he was really good in that, and he's really good. He's going to be in the new movie Nope that Jordan Peele's doing. It's a horror movie, so look for him in that. Marlee, who do you have going against Stephen Yeun?
I almost had Stephen Yeun, to be honest. I definitely looked at him, but I decided to go with a little bit older actor. And kind of the reason why I chose this actor was because he was also in Rogue One with Felicity Jones. And I just was like, hey, they can be in another movie together. So I picked Donnie Yen.
Absolutely. Donnie Yen, known for being one with the Force, and this I picked him as a younger Donnie Yen because, again, here at the Cast Off, we can cast throughout all time and space. So we're going to get a young, and he's really good-looking guy when he's a young guy. I mean, he's not bad-looking as older guy, but when he's young, I see all these airbrushed pictures of him as a martial artist. But he does all of the stunt work. He can do all of the action. He was in Rogue One and the live-action Mulan. But he's been around for a while. He's been in Blade 2 and Shanghai Nights. And
I forgot about Shanghai Nights.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
And we will see him soon in John Wick Chapter 4. So he is a top-notch actor. Well, we've got Stephen Yeun, Donnie Yen, and this could be it for Stephanie, but they went with the younger Stephen Yeun.
Hey!
And I think a better choice because I think he fits more of the young happening guy. Donnie, even when he's younger, he still looks a little too serious.
If it helps, Blake would have gone with Donnie Yen because he loves Ip Man, all of the Ip Man.
Oh, is it Ip Man or IP Man?
IP.
I think it's IP because it's capitalized. Both letters are capitalized.
That's true.
So I think it's IP Man, which is what the executives call them because that's all they don't care about actors anymore. It's all about the intellectual properties. So I went with stock photo hero. Simu Liu. This is one of his stock photos that he did before he became famous, and there's one that's even worse, but I couldn't find anything without the watermark on it, and I wanted to make sure that I really liked him. My wife got caught up in that Kim's Convenience, the Canadian television series he was in, and he's really good in that. And I just think he's charming and good-looking guy and fun. I think he's one of the in Shang-Chi. He was really a fun guy to be. All right. Next, we have someone we haven't seen in a while, and I think has always been a great actress, Kristen Scott Thomas, playing Anna Miller, who we find out, and spoiler alert for almost a 7-8-year-old movie, she's really the true villain, as we find out that she's managed to get control of Laura's father's company by she's the master manipulator. So she starts off being the loving, motherly figure, and then turns into being the villain. So Marlee, who do you have playing the motherly figure who's actually conniving and evil?
Okay, yeah. So the reason I chose this actress is honestly, I feel like a lot of it, I was just going off of looks, but I was trying to think of a little bit older female actress who would look really, really awesome in like short blonde hair, like kind of cropped blonde hair, and who could also be a villain. And so I picked Cate Blanchett.
You mean Cate Blanchett, who is the queen goddess of acting because she's amazing in everything she does? Have you seen Nightmare Alley?
It's on my list.
She is evil in that movie. She is bad. She's great in it. It's really well done. Of course, we know her from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. She was Hela in Thor Ragnarok. Of course, she got her big start. The biggest name is being Elizabeth way back in the 90s when she was first starting out. And Carol, where she was nominated. So Cate Blanchett, you can't go wrong with that. I like how you went by looks only, and you're like, well, she's got the short thing. Maybe she can act a little bit, but really it's all about looks. And it's like you pick the best actress in the world almost. But I liked how you totally forgot that she could act. She just looked the part. So Stephanie, who do you have to go up against the great Kate?
So I went with someone who's like a fantastic. I would watch her in a educational video about worms. She's just good in everything she does, and in some of her other acting, she can show she does conniving and manipulative really well. I went with Christina Hendricks.
Yes, my wife, as we speak, is watching The Good Girls. She's in season 2 of that. She is a redheaded femme fatale, as we all remember her from Mad Men, where she won Emmys and awards and all that. She is in The Good Girls. She was in Drive. Then she's in a bunch of sequels that weren't that great. Bad Santa 2 and Zoolander 2. But yes, The Good Girls, which she's currently in, she is really doing a great job being a mom who is also a drug dealer. But it's like not real drugs. It's like
money laundering.
Well, they're going to Canada and getting like Lipitor, and then they're like selling it.
That's true.
Yeah. So
that's true.
So we have Kate Blanchett, Christina Hendricks, and they went with Kate Blanchett, but
of course
it's 4-1, but that's just normally 4 wins out of 7, but there's still 4 points left potentially actually 5 points left on the board. So this game is not over because there's still some Craig's picks to go through.
Oh,
I went with Emily Watson, who I just think is a really great actress that we don't see very often. Now she plays a lot of moms. She plays a lot of 18th and 19th century moms. But I always found her to be a great actress, and I think she could be that motherly turn. So now there's still 4 potential points on the board, and you will need to get at least one of them this round, Stephanie, to avoid being eliminated. And so it's all on you right now. Apparently. So what we have next is a very bit part, but played by a very non-bit actor. We have Mr. Yaffe, played by the great Derek Jacobi, and I think he might be even Sir Derek Jacobi. If he's not, he should be. He's fantastic, especially if you're a Doctor Who fan. He was in Doctor Who a little bit, but he's been everywhere. He's just a pencil pusher at Kraft Holdings, and so, but because of the name, I wanted him to be in there. So, Stephanie, it's win or lose time right now. Who do you have playing Mr. Yaffe?
I went with someone who I would trust with my business and my life. Gary Oldman.
Yes, and I tried to find the most accountant-looking version of Gary Oldman. Yes, absolutely. Why Gary?
I just thought he's British, so he has that going for him. To be fair, I also looked up like old man in suit. And then Gary Oldman came up.
I'm not going to lie, my Google searches are going to get me in trouble. Because, like I said, I do these cast-offs and I do the recast in the podcast, and so I'll look up 20-year-old goth actresses first, or 38-year-old women in and I know that if they were to look at my search history, people would be like, "What is wrong with this guy?" Because I'm like Googling weird old men in suits. It's just random stuff, heartbreaking girls, stuff like that, and it's like. It could be misconstrued if it wasn't for the fact that I'm trying to cast a movie here. So Gary Oldman, all right. Now, this Marlee for the block. This is like tic-tac-toe almost. It's, who do you have to go up against Gary Oldman as the old man?
Okay, so I also did a sketchy Google search to help me find this one. I Googled male British actors over 80 or something like that. And okay, I'll be honest, I had a hard time finding any that weren't Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen.
Yeah, that's right.
Those are great choices, but not for this movie, not for this role. And so the only other actor that I really recognized was someone I knew from Game of Thrones, and I'm like, yeah, that'll work. And that sounds great. So I picked Charles Dance.
Of course, Charles Dance. He is known for his English arrogance because almost every character he plays is usually an English accent and extreme arrogance, as we saw in the Game of Thrones, The Crown. But he's been around for a while. He was in Eddie Murphy's The Golden Child. way back. He was in James Bond's For Your Eyes Only, and he was in Alien 3, of course. But Charles Dance has been around for a long time. He's a great actor. So we have Gary Oldman, Charles Dance. You know, we're going to go with Charles Dance on this one, and that means that Marlee wins. Stephanie, you have been mathematically eliminated. I'm sorry to hear that, but
sorry, Steph.
That's okay.
Before we get to our final thought, I just remember to everybody that the Cast Off is always looking for people to subscribe to the show. We're still 20. Well, actually, we're 19 shy of 100, so we can get that magic URL. We definitely need to get that magic URL so I can stop begging people to subscribe. Or at least it'll be a lot easier to get people to subscribe. And we have shirts. We have Cast-Off shirts now. Both Spider-Man No Way Home versions, as you can see in the middle, and our Sonic Hedgehog-inspired shirt at the end there of Cast-Off. So head over to matineeheroes.com/store and get yours today. So, Marlee, you won. So today you get the final thought. And you can talk about anything you want. You can promote. You can do a PSA. You can do whatever you'd like. So, what is the final thought you want to leave our audience with today?
Yeah. So, the final thought. I'm glad that Steph spoke up and said, "Hey, let's do a video game movie." So, good idea, Steph. Especially since me and Steph are both part of a video game podcast, Cutscenes and Cupcakes. And it was a lot of fun because I had not seen this version of Tomb Raider yet, so it kind of helped push me to actually watch it. And even though it wasn't really my favorite movie, it inspired me to finish the video game series. Like I said earlier, I've only played 2 of 3, and so I'm like, I really want to start the 3rd one and enjoy the story, because the video game, I'm just gonna say, the video game story of this revamped Lara Croft, so good. It's so good. The movie, they kind of veered off, but if you like action movies and you like Lara Croft, then it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this was a really fun one, and like I said, we're Cutscenes and Cupcakes, the podcast. Me and Steph were just 2/3 of that. We have another co-host named Lindsay, and hopefully you guys get to see her on Cast Off soon. She mentioned that she might be interested in.
And we have done 3 contestants. We had all of the Movies That Make Us crew come on. So maybe for charity, we did that for charity. We've done that for different things. It's easy to do 3 people just as well. So just a reminder, I want you to know that we picked this one because of all of the video game movies. This is kind of the better one because it could have been Super Mario Brothers. It could have been like Mortal Kombat movies. I don't like so I tried to find a movie that was actually worth watching, which is very difficult in the video game genre. So
unfortunately, yeah.
And Sonic the Hedgehog, I wasn't gonna. If the characters are cartoons, it's kind of more difficult. But I did want to make sure that you guys were represented. You guys do a great job over there at Cutscenes and Cupcakes. But we do have more games coming up as we just came back from our long month off. And this will start off with, of course, next week, right here, we're going to have from the Mangum dynasty of the family, Troy Mangum, and he is going to duke it out with one of the nerdy bitches, her words, not mine, Liz Cerna, as they recast the classic and iconic Superman the movie. Absolutely. They're going to go back in time and really do the Superman the movie with Christopher Reeve, and that one's going to be very difficult because I can't wait to see who they pick for Ned Beatty's character, who's always the funniest in that movie.
My son's middle name is Reeve after Christopher Reeve.
That's
so
right.
Aww.
Yeah,
it's hard to replace the late great Christopher.
And I did have a chance to meet him very briefly before he passed in New York, and he was in his chair, but he was a really nice guy. Of course, if you want to be on the show, you can apply at castoff. At matineeheroes.com/castoff/application. We've had several people come on the show via that way, so go to there, or you can email me at mhcastoff@gmail.com. You can go follow us on Twitter on the Castoff Show. We've got a Facebook group. Matineeheroes.castoff has all the video links, including twitch.tv/matineeheroes. Special thanks to our additional judges, Elizabeth Rapp and Rob Irvin. So if there's any problems, Stephanie, you can go to those two and yell at them. I'm pretty sure almost everybody got a vote though, so it's much closer than the score because there's only 3 judges. It's not a lot closer than it looks, but very well done, both of you. So, on behalf of today's winner, Marlee Black, and of course Stephanie Listman from the Cutscenes and Cupcakes, I am Craig Price. We will see you next week on the Cast Off.
Bye. Thanks. Thanks, Craig.